Hello, creative friends, and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. My name is Cheryl Dorsey. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and it is June 2023. I have a really cute card for you today. This is what the finished card looks like. We're going to use some different colors with the card that I'm going to make for you today, but look. Isn't that great? And it sets up like this. It's so beautiful. So let's make a card. I want to show you first what we're going to be using. So in the annual catalog, this is page 32. This is where you can find the stamp set. And then there's also a hybrid embossing folder, which means that it die cuts and embosses, which really makes this card stand out. It's fantastic. So that's what we're going to be using. Let me just show you. This is the stamp set. And then I have in here, this is the embossing folder, and it will also die cut some of these images. And let me show you the dies. There we go. So I think you're going to really love this card. If you like this set, I did do a video recently. Let me show you that card. I did a video recently where I used it to make this card, and I will link that right up here in the corner. So if you want to go check out how to make this card with the same set, you can do that. All right, let me show you what we're going to use. This is a piece of cardstock that is the Lemon Lime Twist. It's one of our new colors. This is a piece of basic white cardstock. It's 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Then we need 4 pieces of designer series paper that's 1.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And this paper is from the 6 by 6 paper collection that was the in colors that began last year, 2022 through 2024. And this color is Starry Sky. We also need a piece of cardstock that is 3.5. I'm sorry, it's 3 inches. 3 inches by 6 inches. And we need another piece of designer series paper. This is 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4. And then the same size, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 of a basic white piece of cardstock. Then we are going to use some scraps, some basic white scraps to stamp the images. So that's everything that we need. And I think I'm going to start today with some stamping. So here's a large scrap, and I'm going to first use this outline stamp. And I'm going to use Granny Apple Green for this stamp. And for this project, I'm only going to use this, and this image. I'm not going to use the round image of the fruit. So I'm just going to use my stamp pad, and I'm going to ink this up the parts that I'm going to use. If I get a little bit of ink on the other one, it doesn't matter. I'm just not going to use it. Okay. And I'm making a mess. I got some ink on that corner there, so I'll try to be careful and not get that on anything else. But again, that's Granny Apple Green. And then I'm going to use this stamp, which will give us the inside of the fruit. And I'm going to use Lemon Lime Twist. And I put this on a smaller block. I'm only going to use these 2, so that one hanging off, that doesn't matter. So let's ink this up, and then me see how I'm doing today. Do I have my Stampin' Mojo on or not? So there we go. And those two pieces look good. So I'm happy with that. Now we also need to stamp this little piece that's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. This is where our focal image is going to go. There we go. And I want to stamp the words, "Have a zesty birthday." I think that's so cute. All right, and I'm going to use the Starry Sky for that. So let's ink up this stamp. And stamp that on here. There we go. Super. We're off to a good start. I like that. I hadn't done any stamping today, so, you know, sometimes it takes me a little while to get rolling, but I think that's good. Happy with that. All right. Now, let's talk about these things that I stamped. Ahead of time, I stamped them, and I've already die cut them out. So here are the ones that I had done ahead of time. And let me just show you how this embossing folder works. So you take the embossing folder, and then you want to take this die, and it actually kind of clicks in right there, and it wants to stay there. So that is where you put the die, and then you would just take your stamped image and you would put it in here, line it up, put it in here, close this, and then run it through. And so not only does it die cut these stamped images, it also embosses them. I don't know if you can see that. So that is fantastic. I love that look. It makes the card really special. All right, let me grab another scrap here, because the other thing we want is some little flowers. So this is one of the stamps, this little set of 3 flowers. And so stamp those like this, and then I'm going to go back to that parakeet party, and there are stamps to stamp the center of those flowers. So just like that. And then this one is going to get these 2. There we go. All right, easy peasy. So again, there is a die, let me show you, for these flowers. There it is. And so I already die cut some out just like that. Let me grab those. Here we go. So I want to use those on my focal image as well. All right, so I think we have everything we need. Let me close up these ink pads so I don't make a mess. All right. Now, you know what? I think I'm going to set those aside for just a minute, and I'm going to go ahead and work on my card. So this is that piece of lemon lime twist. It's 5.5 by 11, and I have already scored this. Let me bring this little piece of paper in here. I scored it at 1 3/4, 3.5, 5 1/4, and 7. So those are the score lines for this. Let me just kind of set this up out of the way a little bit. I think you can still see that. And now this is going to be like an accordion fold. So I'm gonna make that first fold, and then we're just gonna go back and forth, using my bone folder to get a crisp crease on all of these folds. There we go. So I did want to mention that this style of card is what we made at our last mystery stamping event, and it was so much fun. Everybody made some beautiful, beautiful cards. So if mystery stamping is something that you're interested in, I host one each month, and we do that on Zoom. So be sure in the comments to let me know if that's something you're interested in. And next month, in July, I can send you the Zoom link. For many of my stamping friends, that is their very favorite event. So I'm just going to put all of these on here. So I'm using multi-purpose liquid glue today because I find that that's what works best for me. It's a little more forgiving than the seal, the Stampin' seal. But you might like tape adhesive, and if that's true, then that is what you should use. One more. I love this card because it looks very fancy, but it is really not a difficult card to make. All right, we've got all of that done. Now, let me set that over. I'm going to take this piece of the Lemon Lime Twist cardstock that's 3 inches by 6 inches, and it is scored at 3 inches, right in the middle. So when you score that and fold it, it's almost like you have a little mini card here. And then I'm going to take this piece of designer series paper, and I'm going to put it, so if I have the opening this way, I'm going to flip it over and put this on the back here. So let's get this in place. There we go. Okay, set that aside. There's one more thing I want to stamp. This is the piece that's going to go on the inside of our card. And I'm going to grab some scrap paper here. And I'm going to go back and get this Starry Sky ink. And this little flower stamp. And I want to stamp some flowers on what's going to be the inside of my card, but I want them to be stamped off so the image is not quite as strong. So you can see it's a little lighter, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to put one up here too. There we go. All right, we need some little lemon lime twist middles to go in these. I don't need to use that. The lemon lime twist is light enough that I don't feel like I need to stamp that off. So let's grab this little double stamp here and put that right there. And then up here, there we go. And the middle of the larger flowers. There's one. And there's one. Okay, that's done. So now we can start putting our card together. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside of the card. Here we go. Get that in there straight. Okay, so now when we close our card, we're going to be able to see that because the focal image is going to go right in the middle here. All right, let's go ahead and take this piece, and I am going to put this on the other side, like this. It'd be good if I didn't do it upside down. It'd be really good if I didn't do it upside down. I have done things like that before, and then it's time to do some major card surgery. Has anybody else ever done that? Have you had to deconstruct your card to salvage some pieces and make a new card from them? So this is going to go right here, and I need to glue this part to this front panel. Okay, so I only want glue like right here. If I go too far, then I'm going to glue my card shut, and that's not what I want to do. So we've got some glue there. Now I'm just going to slip this back panel inside here, and then I'm going to look at it and see if I can get it straight before I set that down. There we go. So that looks centered to me. I'm going to press this in place, and then we're going to open it up, and we're going to do the same thing on this back panel. We want to press it in place. So again, I only want to put ink, not ink, Cheryl. I only want to put glue. Oh my goodness, right here. And then I want to press that into place. Okay, there we go. Now, let's build this focal image. This is the last piece I'm going to put in there, and I'm going to use dimensionals, so this piece is going to be popped up. But I want to use this and this, and then this is going to go on top, kind of like that. All right, so sometimes I like to, if I have a lot of pieces, they're going to go together. I want to dry fit it just so I have an idea of what the layout is going to look like. Okay, so let me move these, and I am going to go ahead and glue this lime. You know, the card I showed you at the beginning had lemons. Well, today I'm making a card with limes. So that's going to go there. And then let's go ahead and glue this one in place. Here we go. All right, and this is going to go kind of like this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on this and put it on there, and then we have our little flowers that we want to put on as well. Here we go. Okay, so let's put this right about here. Awesome. Okay, now we've got flowers, right? So I think I'm going to put one flower right there. So he's going to be tucked in behind that lime half that's right there. This is the fun part. You get to really put everything together in any way you like. And we've got one more small one. I really do like these colors. The lemon lime twist is just so bright and cheerful. I don't know if I want that on the top or the underneath. I think I'm just going to put it right there. There we go. Now, I want to add one more thing to just take it up a notch. I'm going to use my glue dot, and I already tied this little bow. And this ribbon is actually in Parakeet Party, but I think that it looks nice with this card. So I'm going to actually roll up this glue dot a little bit because the knot on my bow is quite small. So I don't want a big glue dot kind of showing out from underneath that. So this is just going to go right here in the corner, just like that. Have a zesty birthday. Ta-da! What do you think? Do you love this? Let me bring back the other one. So this one, this is Daffodil Delight, and this is Starry Sky, again, just a different paper. And we have lemons. Lemons with some leaves, and here we have our lime with the flowers. So, which one do you like better? I don't know. I can't decide, which is usually the case. But I do love this set, and I think it makes really exquisite cards. So, I hope that you will make some too. This is a really fun layout and design for a card. So make yourself a template of this one and hold on to it, because this will work with many different Stampin' Up! Products. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you soon.